So there is this giant 3 million signatures that's coming up for $2,000 monthly checks. We'll see if this gets passed, if Congress can even look at that and get that moving forward. A big giant infrastructure bill, $3.5 trillion budget bill is going to be passed here pretty soon. $600 going out to California, plus the $1,400 payments from the Treasury is still being sent. There are bonus payments, plus up payments. About $25 billion still needs to be going out to the people that were qualified for that. And that's going to be going out over the course of each week, probably leading up till the end of this year. So more stimulus going out, plus up payments, bonus payments. Most of these are coming from people that file their returns with the Treasury. There is one important thing. If you didn't file your 2020 filings, you can go to the Treasury website. You can fill out the information. There is a recovery rebate credit section in there. Now, during that recovery rebate credit section, you'll be able to see the first two checks that you never received, and then they'll send out those checks to you. So you can go in there and do that. Also, $300 or $3,600 going out to the child tax credit. This is one of the bigger plans that's part of the American Rescue Plan, plus the $1,400 stimulus that went out to most people. They receive those in their bank account, in their check, in their mail. But every month, the child tax credit's going out to those that do have children. $300 for children under the age of 6. This is going to be going out the 15th of every month, all the way up till December, and then you'll get the rest of it in August or in March of next year. Plus $250 for children between the age of 6 and 17 is going out every month. Now this multiplies by the number of children. If you have 4 or 5 children under the age of 17 and you're getting a child tax credit, you're going to be picking up a pretty big check because it's multiplied by the amount of children that you do have. So definitely good news for those that do have family members. The recovery rebate credit is one that you can obviously get with the plus up payments. This is the bonus payments. If you file your returns and you had a 2019 that was a good year and then 2020 was not a very good year, then what'll happen is they'll try to catch you up to the $1,400 payment. Now, a lot of the other states are sending out stimulus checks, and I'm going to cover those states in just a little bit. But this Build Back Better agenda is what President Biden is trying to work on. He's trying to get this passed. This $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan was already passed in the Senate, but Nancy Pelosi says she's not going to pass the $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan unless the Senate will vote on this $3.5 trillion reconciliation package. So it's kind of this back and forth between the two House of Representatives and the Senate to try to get another bill passed. All the bills have to go through Congress. This is something that all the other 3 bills that went through that sent out stimulus checks had to go through Congress, and they had to go back and forth with what they're going to do as far as getting more stimulus out to everybody. I personally think in this $3.5 trillion reconciliation package that they'll extend out a lot of the programs, possibly extending out unemployment and then getting the child tax credit out, extended out through 2025. I think they're going to try to sneak in some type of reoccurring payment to go out to those that don't have children, maybe a $1,200 payment or a $2,000 payment. I think they just have to sneak it in there because a lot of the Republicans don't want to spend on stimulus payments. Most Republicans, they want to spend on infrastructure and they want to spend on defense and all that, but they don't want to send any checks out to those that need it. That's where the Democrats come in, and they're the ones that will vote on that. There is this giant petition for $2,000 month payments for adults and $1,000 for children. There's about close to 3 million signatures on this change.org petition. 2.8 million signatures. It keeps growing every week. There's a lot of pressure for Congress to look at this and then hopefully get these new monthly payments sent out. But they have to create these bills and they have to get it passed. Now, President Biden, he'll pretty much sign anything. So whatever they pass, they'll get it up there and get that going forward. The child tax credit is going to be part of the American Families Plan. That's part of President Biden's Build Back Better plan. The American Families Plan is going to put in, probably extend out these programs, maybe unemployment through the end of the year, and then the child tax credit out through the year 2025. So if you do have children under the age of 17, then you'll be getting a check over the course of the next 4 or 5 years for stimulus. Now, also there's going to be this minimum wage hike. They're trying to get this bumped up from $7 up to $15 per hour. I personally think it should be like $25 per hour. But the problem is it puts too much pressure on businesses, especially small businesses that are hiring, high school kids and kids that are just don't have a lot of value going right now, but they will hire them because they don't really need to make a ton of money. They still live with their parents. They don't have a lot of bills. Those are the people that can weather these smaller minimum wage, and it allows at least the smaller businesses to continue to thrive in order to replenish the profits that they have in the company. But that's something that they're going to have to vote on. That they're going to have to get that passed and get it through Congress. So there are some states that are actually going to be receiving more money because of the American Rescue Plan sent out billions and billions of dollars to each state. Now, each state received different amounts of billions. So California right now is going to be sending out stimulus payments. I think those are going out every week. You do have to live in California, and you have to make less than $75,000 per year. If you do that, you'll receive a $600 payment plus a $500 payment for dependents. There is this big recall vote in California, so a lot of people are going to be voting with their vote, and it's going to be interesting to see if Gavin Newsom will continue on as the governor of California. I know they're spending millions and millions of dollars to try to keep him on as Californian government, but to me it seems like why not have somebody new in there, somebody fresh, see if they can't move it in the right direction. Colorado, $375 for unemployment people that received at least one unemployment check. Maryland's going to be sending out checks to those that earned income tax credit on their filings, so $500 for families and $300 for individuals. And then New Mexico, they're sending out about $740 for people in that state for about 4,000 people. So about $5 million is going to be distributed through the American Rescue Plan funds, which New Mexico received about $1.8 billion. New York received $2.1 billion in a fund, or they're going to take in that $2.1 billion in the fund, and they're going to be sending that to undocumented workers. Florida is sending out $1,000 checks to teachers and administrators. And then you have also $1,000 checks going out to EMTs and to frontline workers like police and firemen. Georgia sending out $1,000 checks to teachers and $500 hazard pay. I know a lot of people are commenting in the comments below that you're not teachers, and I get it. I think a lot of these teacher union groups are pretty powerful, and they have a lot of pull in these states, so that's why you're seeing these checks being targeted to teachers. And that's fine. I get it. You're a teacher. You should benefit from that, but there's still a lot of people out there in those states that probably deserve maybe a stimulus check. Michigan, $500 hazard pay bonus. Tennessee, $1,000 checks for teachers in that state. Texas, Irvine is going to be one of the bigger states. $2,000 payments to try to get teachers to return to the classroom. If you are in a state that's not on the list, what you can do is you can go to your state's Treasury website and you can fill out the information and try to see if maybe you'll be getting a stimulus check. So just go to the Treasury website and see if there's any information about your stimulus payment that should be going out for that state. One of the things that's really going to put a lot of pressure on Congress for getting a new stimulus check is going to be this jobs report. Back in August, looks like only 235,000 jobs were created in the month of August, it's just so low, it's crazy. It's 700,000 was the total they thought was going to happen, but only 230 actually created new jobs. The unemployment rate did drop from 5.4 to 5.2. Now, the reason why we had a ton of stimulus in the past because the unemployment rate was rising so high. But I think the only reason the unemployment rate rose so high is because of the fact that these states said, hey, we got to close down businesses for 2 weeks. So it was flatten the curve for 2 weeks. And that a lot of the states turned into flatten the curve for months and months. And then it took a year for some of the states to even allow businesses to open up. So it was pretty tough, pretty hard on a lot of the businesses in that state. But this new Delta variant, whatever they're talking about here, they're looking like that's going to be something new, and that's going to be possibly getting more stimulus. So they're pushing for the $2,000 payments to be sent out. I think if the states do close down their economies again, they're going to have to come out with some type of monthly payment just to support those people, because if people can't go in and go to those works anymore, even the people that own those businesses, if they can't support their business, they can't support their families, they're going to need some type of stimulus payment. But the American Rescue Plan has already sent out 160 million checks. The $1,400 federal aid has already been sent. So it's, if they can get this something passed in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure or the budget plan, that could possibly be the next round or the fourth stimulus check. But there is a lot of pressure in Congress right now to get this done. They're going to be coming back to the Senate and coming back to Washington over the course of the next couple of weeks to try to get these bills passed. Chuck Schumer says the committees have until September 15th to work on this spending package. One of the Democrats in the Senate, Joe Manchin, he said he wants this bill to be put on hold. He wants it to basically put on hold until we can figure out what's going on. Now, the problem is that Joe Manchin is a Democrat, and if he doesn't vote on this bill, then what's going to happen is he's going to kind of screw up this whole 50-50 Senate vote. So right now he says he wants to wait and pause a little bit and just wait on this. If he waits on this, then the Democrats will not have enough votes in order to get this done. They're trying to, right now, technically they need 60 votes in the Senate in order to get a bill passed. But the Democrats are going to try to pass this reconciliation bill to get this bill passed. And if they do it, possibly a fourth stimulus check will be inside of this, but they have to get all the Democrats on board. And so they might have to talk to Joe a little bit and try to get him moving in the right direction, or for him to get a vote. So if you have any questions on the stimulus, go ahead and drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check update information for today.